Okay, welcome back to my Let's Play of Arkham Horror, the card game on Tabletop Simulator. Last time we ended our Dunwich Legacy campaign in utter failure. Really, that's the only way to describe it. It was bad. We were close. We were damn close to getting to the last scenario, but no, didn't work out. Sad to say, Ashcan Pete died on the Sentinel Hill. But we must soldier on, move forward to another campaign, The Path to Carcosa. This was the second major expansion. As you can see, we have 8 scenarios here. So that's fun. And this one is all about Carcosa and Haster, the King in Yellow, all that good shit. Great theme. We've got the Pallid Mad, Black Stars Rise, Dim Carcosa. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever beaten this one either, but we're going to give it a shot. As for our deck, we're going to be switching it up again. We first did our Roland Banks thing, then we did Ashcan Pete. Now we're going to be moving on to a rogue deck. Safina. Now, oof. That's a rough weakness. We start the game with 2 less resources. So this is a deck listed on ArkhamDB, of course, called Artiste Elusive. Very well thought out deck, very popular deck. From the sound of it, pretty darn interesting deck. And this one could be done either solo or with another character, co-op. Generally someone good at combat. But, and I thought about going with that, and I was reading over it, and I was thinking about it. I decided that this deck alone sounds complicated enough and capable enough that I think we'll just go solo one more time. Because two-handed, you know, co-op by yourself gets a little bit more involved. But, yeah, this does sound pretty interesting. So we got Safina. Safina Rousseau, the painter. She's got 4 willpower, 2 intellect, 2 fight, 4 dexterity. And her main gimmick is basically she gets to put event cards underneath her character card here. And as an action, she can choose one of those events and draw it at any time. Well, you know, it's an action, but still. She also gets her unique card, which is called the Painted World. This is an event. Cannot be placed beneath her, but she can play it as an exact copy of an event that is beneath her card. So this basically duplicates any other event that she has underneath her card. And not only that, she has a few of these. 3, is it 3? It might be 3. 3 is usually the magic number. I think it is 3. Right. So she has 3 of these special unique cards that can duplicate any other event. And there are some events that are very worth duplicating. Specifically, it tells us Backstab, Storm of Spirits, and Ward of Protection are probably what you want to be duplicating. So Ward of Protection costs 1. And you can play this whenever you draw a non-weakness treachery card. And you cancel that card's effect and take a horror. What that means is basically when you draw an encounter card that isn't an enemy, that's a treachery card. So you can just cancel that shit and take a horror. That's very powerful. Being able to cancel treachery cards, encounter cards like that, good shit. Backstab lets you do a fight with dexterity instead of strength, and it deals +2 damage. So this is like her primary way of killing shit. It does cost 3, but that's that. Storm of Spirits lets her fight using willpower instead of strength, which is her other good stat. If you succeed, it deals 2 damage to each enemy at your location. And if you draw a symbol while doing it, you instead take a damage. Well, not instead, but you take a damage as well. So that lets you sort of, if you're facing multiple targets, you can sort of just target, like a weaker character, one with lower fight score, in order to do easy 2 damage to one of the stronger enemies. So that's good. What else do we have? Her special weakness is Stars of Hyades. Randomly choose an event beneath her and remove it from the game. And if your deck has 5 or more cards in it, you shuffle it back into your deck instead of discarding it. So this will continue to crop up again and again as the scenario goes on. What else? She's got a lot of spell cards, so we're finally going to get to look at all those. She has Lone Wolf, which you play as an asset. And when your turn begins, if there's no other investigators with you, you gain a resource. So this lets her kind of double up on her resource generation, which is good because she has a lot of cards to spend. She also has Dario El Amin, where if you have 10 or more assets, 10 or more resources, you get +1 willpower, +1 intellect. And if there's no enemies, you can exhaust him as an action to gain 2 resources. So that lets us get even more money. Yeah. So we're gonna see the rest as it goes on. Her primary combat ability is Shriveling, which is, it's basically like a gun, but it's a spell. It has 4 uses, uses willpower instead of strength, deals +1 damage, and it might give you a horror. But she can take a lot of horror. She can go up to 9 horror. It's just pretty thick in the head. All right. That's all that. We're gonna start with 3 resources every game because of this indebted. That's, I mean, honestly, I feel like a lot of people would probably just redraw this, and I might just ditch it after this first scenario if it's really debilitating, but let's just see how it goes. Okay, I think we're set for Path to Carcosa. Have you seen the yellow sign? Beautiful. Okay. So this campaign has a doubt or conviction tracker, where if I get where, oh, here it is. Yeah. So this here, you can track your doubt and conviction. And some things will check whether you have more doubt or more conviction. All right, blah, 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 blah. You turn over the folded program in your hand, reading it for what seems like the 100th time. Miskatonic Playhouse presents The King in Yellow, it reads. A special one-night engagement at Arkham's very own Ward Theatre. An irresistible drama in 2 acts. Production staged and directed by Nigel Engram. The cast is a small ensemble with 1 unattributed credit at the end, The Stranger. To have such a highly anticipated play come to Arkham all the way from Paris is a noteworthy event, even if it is just for 1 night. For weeks leading up to the show, it was the talk of the town. It seemed so unassuming and yet you have evidence something sinister is at work. It started with the disappearance of one of the stagehands at the theater, a boy of only 17 who missed rehearsal one night and was never seen again. Then, less than 2 weeks before the performance, there was the musician whose corpse was found with a gun in its mouth. Perhaps most chilling was the crazed man the coppers had picked up in Independence Square who had been ranting and raving about the king's return. He was brought to Arkham Asylum, and you were surprised to discover that he was not alone in his delusions. Finding these events suspicious, you and your companions have delved deeper into the matter. Although no connection can be proven, these weren't the only strange events surrounding the up-and-coming play. Instances of suicide and madness have followed in its wake, and you are determined to discover why. The lights in the auditorium dim, and a spotlight shines on the stage. What unfolds is not quite what you expected. Slow-paced and monotonous, the first act of The King in Yellow is a tedious bore. The setting and characters are compelling, but the meandering and nonsensical story does little to entertain or inform. You begin to wonder whether the dreadful events surrounding The King in Yellow aren't connected after all. Perhaps it was just your overactive imagination. How could such a trivial and unassuming show cause such pandemonium? You are surprised when the first act closes without any rising action or revelation. The lights rise for the intermission, and you consider leaving early, stifling a yawn. Before you're able to decide, however, you find yourself drifting to sleep. You awaken with a start, as though shaken by an unseen force. You must have slept for quite some time, for there are only a few other patrons in the audience and no performers on stage. The lights are dimmed, and the stage curtains are tattered and ripped, though you do not remember that being the case during the first act. You wait a moment before you are sure this isn't part of the performance. As you wait, a foul but unrecognizable smell permeates the air. How long have you been asleep? Shaking off your drowsiness, you walk toward one of the seated patrons and ask for the time, but he does not respond. It is then that you realize you're speaking to a corpse. Bum. Hold on, let me get some music back on. Alright, we got encounter cards, stuff's out of play, theater lobby, balcony, backstage. We begin play at the theater. All this special treatment for Lola Hayes. Lola Hayes was really their darling character because she's unique. She does not follow one of the other 5 classifications. After she chooses her opening hand, she gets to choose what role, and she can switch at any time once per round. And she can build her deck with any of the 5 types of cards. I've never played as Lola. It would kind of be interesting, although it sounds kind of annoying as well. But she's the actress, so this is all about, you know, yeah, whatever. But anyways, so we begin playing the theater, and we shuffle the deck, and that's it. I didn't place Curtain Call yet. There we go. Okay. The third act. The theater is eerily silent. The old wooden floor creaks beneath your feet, and a light rain gently patters on the roof as you explore the auditorium. There are more rotting corpses among the seats, and the rest of the crowd has vanished. Awakening. You pinch yourself to see if you're dreaming, and sure enough your skin stings and reddens. You take a few deep breaths and try to think rationally. Whatever's going on here, you must explore the theater to learn the truth of the matter. Alrighty. Playing on standard difficulty, of course. Let's look here. What's standard difficulty? Alright, we've got a -4 in there. Mostly -1s, and then the skull, which is also a -1. But -3 instead if you have 3 or more horror on you. So keep that in mind. Shuffle that shit, and put Safina right here on the theater. To say that the theater is in disarray would be a profound understatement. The walls and seats, previously polished to a shine, are cracked and caked with dirt. The curtains are tattered, and the set is stained with old blood. You aren't sure what's worse, the smell of rot, or the nagging feeling that you've been asleep for a very long time. Alrighty. So, Safina's opening is a little different. She draws 13 cards instead. So we're gonna draw... It's a lot of fucking cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And we're gonna dump the weakness. Draw another card. Okay. He doesn't get to mulligan. And she puts, she can put up to 5 events to put beneath her card. So for events, we have Elusive, Ward of Protection, Drawn to the Flame, Uncage the Soul, Narrow Escape. Now, some of, obviously part of the decision of what you put beneath there, because you don't have to. You can only keep up to 8 cards in your starting hand, and you have to dump the rest. So, right now, basically, if I don't put all of these under here, I'm gonna have to discard something, which I can discard Lone Wolf. That's not the end of the world. I also have a duplicate Arcane Initiate. But part of the decision of what you put underneath it is... So for one, you're not playing normally. I mean, without your special unique card, the Painted World or whatever, you can't play those cards underneath your deck, underneath your character, as a single action, right? So you would need to do this action to draw it and then play it. So it's a little cumbersome. The Painted World thing lets you play it immediately, or it basically lets you duplicate it and play it. So part of it is like, okay, what do I really want and need to hold in my hand as like a reactionary thing? They recommend Emergency Cache, Uncage the Soul, Drawn to the Flame, Think on Your Feet. So we have 2 of those here. Uncage the Soul lets you play a spell or ritual card from your hand, reducing its resource cost by 3. And that is pretty good to have in your hand rather than underneath your card. Drawn to the Flame lets you draw the top card of the encounter deck and then discover 2 clues at your location. So you get an extra encounter that turn, but you immediately take 2 clues off of your location, which, you know, on those Shroud 4s or something like that, or worse, that's really good. The ones that we definitely want under the card to duplicate are Backstab, Storm of Spirits, and Ward of Protection. The ones that we generally want to bank that aren't like, oh, I desperately need this in my hand at all times, are Elusive and Narrow Escape, which are these 2 green ones. This one is a fast action, which means that you can play without actually spending an action. Disengage from each enemy engaged, then move to a revealed location with no enemies. Which makes sense, because you can draw it as an action which doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity, and then you can play it as a free action to disengage. So if you're ever surrounded by a bunch of enemies you can't deal with, you can just pull this out from underneath and deal with that. Narrow Escape, basically a similar thing. You play this whenever an enemy would make an attack of opportunity against you, such as if you, like, move or investigate or something like that. Or then you cancel that attack and you get +2 for the next skill test you perform the turn. Okay. So we're definitely putting this and this underneath. We'll put Water Protection underneath. I don't know if I want to... Yeah, I guess it's fine. Yeah. I see where they're going. So we're going to keep this and keep this, which is going to force us to dump Arcane Initiate and Lone Wolf to start with 8 cards. So these 3 are going to go under our card. So let's just put them over here. That's how we know. Okay. Then I think we're set for 20 minutes. All right, let's start. So our objective right now is to get 3 clues. There's nothing on the theater, so we're going to have to move to either the backstage or the lobby. To get to the balcony, we have to go through the lobby. So let's first play Uncage the Soul, which lets us play a spell or ritual, reducing its cost by 3. So we're gonna play Shriveling then for free. God, again with this nonsense. Don't do that. Use these. God. Use these. Thank you. Alright, so that was one action. We also have Rite of Seeking. This one is basically lets us use willpower instead of intellect when investigating. And if you succeed, you get another clue. So this one's really good, but it is expensive at 4. And it only has 3 uses. Now, there are some cards that let you add charges to a spell, but I don't know what they are. Then we're going to play Lone Wolf, which costs 1, and then we're going to play Holy Rosary, which costs 2. And that'll be our whole exciting first turn, filled with excitement and exciting stuff. Okay, so then I get a resource, I get a card, another Uncage the Soul, which lets us play Rite of Seeking next turn for only 1, which is great. Doom's gonna go up by 1. Hold on. By 1. Okay, and then our encounter card, right. King's Edict. For each cultist enemy in play, move 1 clue. If no clues are moved. Alright, so we just redraw. Swarm of Rats. Alright, we have an enemy on our board. Almost seems like a waste to actually use a spell on the Swarm of Rats. So, Lone Wolf, start of our turn. There's no investigators at our location, and there never will be. So we get an extra resource. I'm just going to try to punch this thing. I'm going to try to punch the rats. This is a 2 versus 1. That's a -1. Dead. Second action, we're going to play Uncage the Soul in order to play Rite of Seeking for only 1. Again with this nonsense. This gets 3 charges. Then, second action, let's finally move over to the lobby. Lobby is revealed. Put 2 of the set-aside lobby doorway locations into play at random. Alright. There we go. That's the end of my turn. Again, very exciting. Get a resource, get a card. So, I mean, this is a very different playstyle again compared to Ashcan Pete. We don't have Duke to get our free move when we investigate, but we're also very interested in getting resources this time. And we have a lot more options available to us with different cards. Whereas Ashcan Pete was basically all about having no money and just relying on pure stats and Duke to just power through. So this deck, I guess, is a little trickier as far as knowing what cards you need and how to play cards and dealing with the cards underneath your thing that are banked. Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, so Doom goes up by 1. Again, the number is 6 we're heading towards. Draw an encounter card. Whispers in your head, anxiety. Alright, so this is hidden, but that doesn't matter to us. Secretly add this to our hand. We cannot trigger any, well, trigger abilities. Which basically means for us, nothing right now. I don't actually have any of those in play. The Arcane Initiate has one, but she's not in play. Alright, so we are probably going to be investigating using the Right of Seeking. Although that's really not great. That would be 5 against 4. Five against 4, and if we succeed, we get another clue, but there isn't another clue to be had. So let's try and seek out a better spot. Let's move here. There's nothing. We could steal from the box office and gain 5 resources, but no, we're not criminals. All right, let's move and then move here. There we go. Oh, I forgot to change this. So that should be at 1, so there should be only 1 clue here. While you're here, increase the resource cost of each card in your hand by 2. Not very exciting. Gain a resource, gain a card. Alright, it's fine. Doom goes up by 1. Gain encounter card. Agent of the King. Alright, this is an enemy here. 4 fight, 4 health. After he attacks you, move one of your clues onto him, and you get the clues back when you kill him. Alright, he does a lot of horror, blah blah blah. I mean, we can definitely smoke him. We gain a resource from Lone Wolf. Well, I mean, it's 5 versus 4. He doesn't have retaliate, but, you know, we do use up a charge when we use this. So it's not like, you know, using Duke or using a fire axe. But, c'est la vie, I suppose. Let's do an attack. 5 versus 4. Auto fail. Do another attack. 5 versus 4. That's a fail. God, this is getting pricey now. I think generally I'm better off evading enemies, but it's like I'm gonna have to continually evade him. I guess that's not the end of the world, and it's what I should have done originally. Alright, now let's just try evading him. 4 versus 2. Alright, that's a success. So now he's gonna latch right on it. That was our whole turn, so that wasn't smart of us. We're learning, I guess. Gain a resource, gain a card. Okay, I think on your feet, it lets you just play whenever something would spawn on you. You can immediately move to another location. Alright, this goes to 4 out of 6. That's not great. Get another encounter card. Dissonant Voices. Cannot play assets or events. That's pretty bad. Alright, gain another resource for Lone Wolf. Let's evade 4 against 2. Alright, that's a success, so he's sitting here now. Let's investigate using Right of Seeking. And let's play Unexpected Courage, so we have 7 versus 4. Now, I didn't even need it, but there we go. And let's move back to the lobby. Okay. Get a resource, get a card. Alright, Painted World. So now, with Painted World in hand, I can copy Ward of Protection whenever we get a Treachery card I don't want. Dissonant Voices goes away. And this goes up to 5. Draw an encounter card. Whispers in your head, Dread. Secretly add Cannot move more than once each turn. Yeah, that's not ideal. We're also at 8 cards now, so these are sort of clogging up our hand. Okay. It's fine. Let's... Oh, we get another resource for Lone Wolf, then... I mean, I could cancel it. It wouldn't be the end of the world. I don't know. I don't know how much we're gonna need to move. But let's move up to the balcony. There we go. You can... Sorry. You can move from the balcony to the theater, but you take 2 damage because you're jumping off the balcony. Thematic. Second action, we're going to investigate with Right of Seeking. This is only a 2, so 5 against 2. That is a success. Easy peasy. Oh, we need a 3rd clue. Alright, so my 3rd action, I can't move again. I can't get rid of one of these. That costs 2 actions. So I guess let's play Arcane Initiate. For 1. Alright. That adds a Doom on her, but it doesn't matter because this is going to tick over anyways, and that removes all Doom from the board. We can search the top 3 cards of our deck for a spell and draw it as a triggered action, but we can't do that as long as we have this anxiety, so really she's just there to soak up a sanity or a damage. Alright, I get a resource, I get a card. Ah, Dario El Amin. That's pretty good. We're definitely going to be playing him instead of the Arcane Initiate. Alright. So Doom is going to tick up and advance. Abruptly, the malformed body of an unnatural nightmare slams onto the stage, its slithering tendrils reaching into the aisles. It opens its maw and lets out a shrill, piercing song. The melody is uncanny. The notes sear into your mind. Pain pounds in your forehead and blood runs from your ears. Alright, we're grabbing the Royal Emissary and spawning it in the theater. Alright, he's got 4 health, 4 fight. Only 2 evasion, so he's easy for us to evade. He does retaliate, he does hunt. And at the end of the enemy phase, if you're on his location or next to his location, you take a horror. That's problematic, because that's going to happen to us. Well, it's not too bad. This guy should have definitely righted. And actually, the enemy phase would have happened before that, so he should be there. Then I did like draw, I did that, then the doom. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Encore. The creature's song echoes relentlessly throughout the halls of the theater. The melody repeats again and again, yet somehow never the same note twice. Alright, so if we kill him, we remove all Doom from play, and we go back to Agenda 1A with 3 Doom on that agenda, so he's more likely to show up again. Quickly. Alright, this is a little problematic. Okay, encounter card. Poltergeist. Not be damaged except by spell, relic, or encounter cards, but you can parlay with an Intellect 3 test to attempt to banish him, which will do 1 damage to it. So that's what you can do, I guess, if you don't have a spell, relic, or encounter card. But we definitely do. Alright, on our turn, we're going to... Yeah, we're gonna kill him. We're gonna friggin' kill him. So we're gonna use Shriveling. This will be a 5 against 3. Yep, let's just go with it. -1, it is dead. It does 2 damage. Alright, for my second action... tempted to get rid of whispers in our head. This guy's gonna move and hit us, but I'm actually not too bothered by that because it'll just all go on the Arcane Initiate, who we're ditching anyways. So yeah, let's spend 2 and dump whispers in our head. Unless hold on. Yeah, we're gonna go and get rid of this. So toss that aside. Okay. Yeah, nothing else to do. Alright, to do that, take that. Emergency cash, if we need a bit more money. We got bigger fish to fry, though. This is at 1 out of 6. Oh, the enemy phase happened, so this guy moved here. This guy moved here. He's going to hit me for 1 damage, 2 horrors. That's all going on the Arcane Initiate. This guy, however, has that thing where connecting location takes 1 horror, so we're going to put a horror onto the Rosary. Blah, 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 blah. That's that. Now I get an encounter card. Whispers in your head, dismay. Cannot commit skill cards to skill tests. That's pretty shitty. Although, actually, I don't really have many skill tests. I only have unexpected courage. It's kind of shitty. I don't know if it's really worth playing Ward of Protection on. It also clogs up our hand a bit more, but I think it's there's far worse things than that. Okay. Our turn. We're gonna play Elusive, which costs 2. Jesus. Yeah, this mod, for whatever reason, it randomly has these lag spots where it'll just completely freeze for like a second. It doesn't have with any other mod, so I don't, it just must be something broken here that keeps getting like rechecked or something. Alright, but this costs 2, it doesn't cost an action. Disengage from each enemy engaged with you, move to a revealed location with no enemies. That's any location. Any revealed location with no enemies. In this scenario, it doesn't matter too much, we're all pretty congested. But that's crazy for some scenarios. So we can just move here. This was not a move action, so I don't know how, I guess I just like slip and slide through. I don't jump off the balcony and take the 2 damage. And that didn't even cost an action, so that was pretty great. Then we're just going to do a move action to get backstage. Ooh, while you're here, each hidden treachery in your hand counts as 3 cards instead of 1 for the purposes of counting your hand size. So that means these are actually 6 out of my potential 8 cards. That's pretty bad. I'd have to dump a lot. So let's try and move out of here as well. Backstage. All right. 1 and a 2. Blep, blep. Let's move straight to here. The dressing room. Useless. Useless. Trying to decide and figure out if the balcony is like connected to the like, I guess it is. I think these are connected locations, right? Because they have the symbols. They're connected. He's not really doing a move action, so he can just move freely. But anyways, that was my turn. No, wait a minute. I moved. This was not a move. This was a move. This was a move. So I have one action remaining. Let's play Dario Al-Amin for 4. And I keep forgetting Lone Wolf, so let's tick up by 1. And then I get another one, and I draw a card. Backstab, very nice. So that lets us do 3 damage pretty handily. Enemy phase, this will move here. This guy will move here. They're both sitting there waiting. Doom goes up by 1. Encounter card. Sent into Madness. It has Surge, and if you have at least 3 horror on you, lose an action. I don't, so redraw. Rotting Remains. Willpower 3. For each point you fail by, take 1 horror. 5 against 3. +1. Get out of here. Done, done, done. Alright. We're just going to move twice to here. The Trap Room. After you reveal the Trap Room, search the encounter deck and discard pile for 1 copy of Swarm of Rats and put it into play engaged with you. Okay. So the Swarm of Rats returns. Who's at the bottom of this, I believe, or yeah, there he is. I don't know why I shuffled that. Okay, so we have a Swarm of Rats with us. I have 1 action remaining. I think we just ignore it and investigate instead. So let's just do the Rite of Seeking to investigate. Yeah, I mean, I could do Narrow Escape to avoid this attack of opportunity, but I don't think that's actually worth it. We'll put a... I didn't take my Lone Wolf again. We really have to drill that in. Let me put my Lone Wolf... No. There won't be a way for me to really, like, remember the Lone Wolf thing. I wish. We'll try. We'll try to remember. I'm so used to 1 at the end. You know, 1 at the beginning seems so foreign. Alright. Right. Where was I? Right, so I took a damage. Rite of Seeking is done. I get the clue. We put the damage just on Dario, that's fine. Oh wait a minute, I didn't even draw, did I? I didn't even do the draw for the investigating. 5 versus 3. Alright, we're fine. Good. Alright. Okay. With that done, that was my 3rd action. So now this immediately triggers. A shadow creeps along the wall beside you, and your heart leaps into your throat. You turn, and a figure flits away just out of sight. Either your mind is playing tricks on you, or someone else is in the theater. You follow the direction of the shadows, rounding a nearby corner. At the far end of the hall, he stands awaiting you, a man in an elegant black suit, his face covered by a pale mask. Though his attire has changed, you instantly recognize him as the actor who played the role of the Stranger, one of the characters from The King in Yellow. He turns and disappears through an open doorway as if taunting you to follow. Choose one of the set-aside locations at random, put that location in play, spawn the set-aside man in the pallid mask at that location. Advance to one of the 3 copies of Act 2A at random. Okay, so we have 2A, 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 and we're going to advance to this one. Okay, the mysterious stranger from the King in Yellow might know something about what happened during the intermission. You must find and confront him if you are to discover the truth. So when he would be discarded from play, we can advance. We have to pick one of the set-aside locations at random, which is either this backstage doorway or the lobby doorway. It's going to be this. The backstage doorway. That works. Fucking hell. There you go. Okay, and he is going to go there. Okay, so we could just kill him. We could backstab the shit out of him and just murder him. We can also investigate. Location gets +2 Shroud, and if you succeed, you defeat him. Interesting. Alright, that's my turn. We still have the rats on us, which is the problem. These clues are gone. I get a resource. I draw a card. I'm gonna have to dump something now. Storm of Spirits, that's nice. Let's dump... Unexpected Courage. Normally I would not ever do that, but I don't think I'll get a chance to get rid of this card. So, whatever. The rats are then going to hit us again, so we'll take a damage. Then this moves here. This moves here. His effect causes us to take a horror, which we'll put on Dario. So... Then, Doom goes up by 1. Counter card. Fanatic. Spawn at the revealed location with the most clues. It's a tie between a couple locations. Let's go here. He doesn't hunt. He just puts this clue on him. I don't care. You can have that clue, sir. Okay, 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 okay. Yeah, elusive isn't gonna work too well. Because this is not a revealed location. Yeah, it's not a revealed location. So I think our best bet... Oh, boy. We don't really have a best bet, to be honest. Don't want to just soak that much damage in horror. So I feel like I have to get in there and evade something. So let's... Or kill something. Either way. Let's just punch this rat. I guess. Let's punch the rat. I don't really have a great option of dealing with it. I don't want to waste fucking shriveling. Although, if I take the rat with me upstairs, or, you know, up to here, I could then use Storm of Spirits... targeting the rat, which would then do 2 damage to these bad boys. At the same time, it doesn't really do anything. It kinda does. It kind of does. Additional damage dealt to the attacked enemy, so... Yeah. Those things are hard to hit. And I don't really have anything. I can't play skill cards. It's going to be a little tricky. I risk dying. think evasion still has to happen, but it's a good start. So, alright, let's give it a try. Let's move. So this rat is going to hit me again. Which is okay. I didn't take Lone Wolf. Oh, God. Oh, I could have played Narrow Escape. It still wouldn't make much of a difference overall, though. Their 4 health is annoying. Alright, so let's say screw it on that. Let's play Storm of Spirits for 3. So we're targeting the rats. We use willpower instead of strength, so this is 5 against 1. And if I succeed, it does 2 damage to each enemy. Okay, we got, that's a minus 1. But since I drew that, it also deals the damage to me, which sucks. Very sucks. Okay, but this is dead, and these 2 things each have 2 damage on them. There you go. Now, if I could do that again, it'd be nice, but I can't. So now I could play Elusive to get some distance on it. But we'd be moving away from the man in the pallid mask, so it's not ideal. So I think we just evade both of them with 2 actions. Not very pretty, it's not very exciting. But then I have Water Protection to avoid treachery cards. I have Think on my feet to avoid anything else that will spawn, which would also let me freely move, which would be nice. But either way, let's evade the big guy first. That's a success. So he is like this. Evade the other guy. Also a success. Alright. Now my turn ends. But then all either of them do is this. And I think I still take this horror. Which is fine. I get a resource and a card. Another Holy Rosary. Now this says I can't commit skill cards to skill tests, so I think I can actually commit event cards and asset cards to skill tests. So I guess that's good. Right, that's all that, that's all that, that's all that. Doom goes up to 4, we get an encounter card. Spirit's Torment, attached to your location. After you leave the location, you either take a horror or lose an action. Place a clue here to get rid of it. That's fine, just because I can take a lot of horror. Let's go with that. So now I gain Lone Wolf, I got that. We're gonna have to evade both of them again. I mean, I could try and kill him, but the odds are worse. Really, we're talking 4 on 4 instead of 4 versus 2. So let's just do 4 versus 2. Yeah, if Elusive was moved to a connected location or something like that, or any location with no enemies, that would be fine, but it has to be revealed, and that doesn't work for us. Okay, so let's evade the big boy. 4 against 2. That's -1. Yep, so that's good. He's evaded. The other guy, -1, also evaded. And then we're just going to move onto this location. Okay, we might actually end up investigating. I think our odds are... Well, no, we don't have Right of Seeking. And we can't use Drawn to the Flame, because that just takes clues. That's not an Investigate. We'll have to see about that. These things both flip. Okay. We get a resource, we get a card. We have to dump something, so dump Holy Rosary. This guy gives us a horror. Doom goes up to 5 now. Encounter card. Frozen in Fear. First time you do a move, fight, or evade, each round it costs 1 additional action. Let's cancel that. Let's Painted World in order to copy Ward of Protection. Costs 1 resource. And we take a horror from it. So now those skulls are going to be -3, which is actually pretty bad. And to be honest, Dario is not really doing much for us. But if I just get 3 more resources, 2 more, you know, whatever, he would give us +1 willpower again, which could help with this investigation. So I think honestly that's our best bet. This is a 3. This is a 3 right now. I have 5. Our odds are actually pretty good either way. But let's play. We get the resource for Lone Wolf. We'll play Emergency Cash as our first action. So now Dario kicks in. So now we have 6 versus 3. Even with the skull, we win. Success. So we successfully defeated the man in the pallid mask. So now we get to flip this. As you face off with the stranger, you get the sense that he is grinning beneath his pale, faceless mask. Where is everyone, you ask, but he does not respond. What is going on? He remains silent and steps back as you approach, until his back is against the corner of the room. You feel intense heat behind you, and you turn to see flames roaring throughout the auditorium. You turn back to the stranger, but he is gone. Alright, so he gets moved to the lobby. We add 2 of those tokens to the bag, which sucks. Those get added. Place 1 horror on the theater. Until the end of the scenario, horror on locations represents spreading flames. And after you enter or end your turn at those locations, you have to test Dexterity 3, otherwise take a damage. Okay. Horror on the theater. Okay. The stranger must know the way out. You have to follow him. Well, the man in the pallid mask is not in play. Gains resign. Okay. End a round. Place a horror on each location. Connected. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. So basically we have to resign, which means we have to beat the man in the pallid mask again. And let's see, I started my turn here. I played Emergency Cash, and then I investigate, so I have 1 action left. Alright, it's gonna get a little dicier. I think we take an action to draw Elusive into our hand. Because this lets us move to a revealed location with no enemies. So we can move straight to, like, here. Bypassing all the rest of this shit. Okay. So that's the end of our turn. These things are both going to move in now. Which actually is pretty problematic. We're going to take 3 damage and 3 horror overall. So We're gonna lose Dario. We're gonna lose Dario. He soaks up one of each. That's 2 damage, 2 horror remaining. Holy Rosary will soak up another horror, so that's 2 damage, 1 horror remaining. Actually, I lose. Huh. That's a lot of damage. I think I was banking on that sort of being the end. Okay, no, I got it. We're not gonna lose. We're not gonna lose. We're not gonna lose. Hold on. Reset all that shit. Don't do what I said. This had this on it. This, he was here. He had one of each on him. Okay, okay. No. What we're gonna do then is we're gonna move here, which engages those things with us, and then we play... No, but then we don't have elusive, because that was an action I spent. Okay. Oh, no. Yeah, no. You're right. No, I can't do that. Okay, it's either move or... Yeah, no, that doesn't work. Okay, I can evade... No, I can't evade one. No, that doesn't work either. I have 1 action remaining. Ultimately, I shouldn't have played Emergency Cash. No matter what, I'm dead. I could draw a card. It might save me. I guess. I don't have anything else, so draw an extra card. Oh, Painted World. Still doesn't save me, because I can only play elusive on my turn. Not... And they're gonna move in after my turn's over. So yeah, no matter what, I am a dead man. Dead woman. A dead painter. Damn. Sucks. I mean, that's the problem when you just keep evading stuff instead of killing it. It just continues to trouble you. Fortunately, these both have Hunter on them. I needed to kill one of these things. Ultimately, I mean, in hindsight, I shouldn't have played Emergency Cash to get Dario activated. Because if I had 1 extra action left, I could have just moved and then played elusive. Let's pretend I did that. Hey, that's the joy when you're just playing games on your own, on a tabletop. You can just bend the rules for your own enjoyment. So I'm gonna rewind. I didn't actually need Dario in play, so that's fine. Then we're gonna spend an action to draw elusive, move, and then we're gonna play elusive in order to disengage from each of these bad boys and move to any revealed location with no enemies. So right there. Okay, that works better. Then these enemies are going to both move here. Move here. I think Spirit's Torment still kicks in, so I think I still take a horror. Fine. The fire effect... No, the fire effect doesn't do any enemies. At the end of the round, place a horror on each location with no horror that is connected to it. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. We're going to be moving into the fire, unfortunately. I get a resource, I get a card, the Painted World, we know. Hold on. This goes here and here. Blah, blah, blah. Doom is now going to tick over to 6. Which will probably have some unfortunate... I might still lose, so it doesn't matter. Oh, look at that. Song grows louder and louder until it drowns out all your thoughts. You collapse to the floor and cover your ears, but try as you might, you cannot muffle the intensity of the creature's awful voice. The whole world threatens to close around you until at last you hear a discordant phrase throughout the melody. Exit now. Each investigator takes 100 horror. Cannot be prevented. Yeah, so we go insane. That's tricky. That means that you would have had to have killed the Royal Emissary just to prevent that. Otherwise, you have to win in 12 turns, which is doable, but a little tricky. Usually, you know, you get more time than that. So yeah, we really should have killed the Royal Emissary. That's just something you try and remember next time. Not that it's the end of the campaign, though. We still get to continue. We are going to get a mental trauma, though, for doing that, which is really bad. Well, no, she has a lot of sanity. That's fine. Okay, so that's that. We got definitely resolution nothing. Once again, you're startled awake, this time by the cold, clammy fingers of a hand on your shoulder. Are you all right? An elderly man asks, helping you to your feet. Your mind is a flurry of memories. Last you remember, the Ward Theater had become a place of nightmares filled with dangerous fanatics and strange terrors. Worried, you glance at your surroundings, only to find yourself on the rain-slicked curb outside the theater. Despite the events from earlier, the city seems normal to your eyes, or at least what passes as normal for Arkham. The bright glare of headlights drills into your eyes as cars pass on the street, splashing dirty rainwater onto the sidewalk beside you. The old man wears an expression of concern, noting the terror in your eyes. Were you mugged? Damn those trouble boys, he exclaims. Dry gulching folk on a night out to the theater. Not a single street those hooligans haven't staked a claim on, I tell you. You stand and walk over to the front window of the Ward Theater to tentatively peer through, but it is too dark to see anything inside. The elderly man eyes you curiously for a moment, then shrugs and continues walking. Well, I'd best be on my way. I would do the same if I were you, he says, rounding the street corner. You quickly follow, hoping to warn him to stay away from the theater, but when you turn the corner, it is not the elderly man you see, but the familiar sight of the stranger in his featureless pallid mask. His unwavering gaze bears down upon you. Who are you? You call out. The stranger does not respond, but instead turns and disappears into the alleyway behind the theater. You give chase, hoping for answers, but by the time you reach the alleyway, it is empty, save for a notice on the wall near the theater's employee entrance. Don't be a wet blanket. Come to the King in Yellow cast party, 8 p.m. at the home of Constance Dumaine, 1452 Atlantic Avenue. Formal dress only. You tear the notice from the wall and take it with you, frustrated and lost. Stranger is on to you. Alright. Stranger is on to you. On to me, I guess. Add the man in the pallid mask weakness to our deck. Anytime. Okay, yeah, okay. So this dude is a weakness card. So from now on, he can pop up and just spawn somewhere on the board. And we'll have to contend with that. In your campaign log under Chasing the Stranger, place 1 tally mark for each time the man in the pallid mask was defeated during this scenario. Okay, so we want to keep kicking his ass. So that's at 1. We did defeat him once. And we get Victory X. Alright. Yeah, that was a bummer. That was a bummer. Victory X. Did I actually do anything? I didn't kill this. We did clear out this, so that's 1. And we cleared out this, so 2. 3. Alright, we got 3 XP. Could be a lot worse. Mangg, Safina, Rousseau. I spelled that probably wrong. Okay. And then we move on to the cast party. The cast party at the home of Constance Dumaine. And yeah, you know, it's going to be a fun party. We didn't get any doubt or conviction. We don't know what the hell to think. I did get 3 XP. We'll deal with that next time. Yeah, I'm not pleased. I'm not pleased. Honestly, if I were just playing on my own, I would probably just restart and do it again with a little bit more knowledge. But it's fine. We'll keep soldiering on. That's the point of the campaign. My name is Mangg. Game watching has been Arkham Horror, the card game. See you fine folks in the next part.